Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasade Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Vallabha Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra Devi. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jaya Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Nitai Gaura Hare Bol. Nitai Gaura Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Nitai Gaura Hare Bol. Gaura Premanandi. Jaya Om Vishnupadaya Paramahamsa Parivarakracharya Astotara Abhaya Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Founder-Acharya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri 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 Jagannatha Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai. Shri 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 Gaur Nitai ki jai. Shri 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 Radha Vallabha Bhagavani ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. So today we are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, 6th canto, 12th chapter, verse number 12. Chapter 12, titled Vitrasura's Glorious Death, text number 12. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text number 12. Avidvan evam atmanam. Avidvan evam atmanam. Manyate nisham ishvaram. Manyate nisham ishvaram. Bhutai sirjati bhutani. Bhutai sirjati bhutani. Grakasi tani tai swayam. Grakasati tani tai swayam. Avidvan evam atmanam. Avidvan evam atmanam. Manyate nisham ishvaram. Manyate nisham ishvaram. Bhutai srijati bhutani. Bhutai srijati bhutani. Krasate tani tai swayam. Krasate tani tai swayam. Bhutai srijati bhutani. Matajis. Atmanam. Te sani sai swayam. Avitvan evam atmanam. Manveshe nishamishvaram. Bhutai svaiti bhutani. Ragasthanam Avidvaneva Matmanam Manyate Nishamishwaram Bhutashati Bhutani Grasate Kani Swayam Avidvaneva Matmanam Manyate Nishamishwaram Bhuteshvati Bhutani Grasate Kani Swayam. Word to word translation. Avidvan, one who is foolish, without knowledge. Evam, thus, Atmanam, himself. Manyate, considers. Anisam, although totally dependent on others. Ishwaram, as the supreme controller, independent. Bhutai, by the living entities. Sirjati, he, within brackets the Lord, creates. Bhutani, other living entities. Grasati, he devours. Thani, them. Thai, by other living beings. Swayam, himself. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Translation: a foolish, senseless person cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although always dependent, he falsely thinks himself the Supreme. If one thinks according to one's previous fruitive actions, one's material body is created by the father and the mother, and the same body is annihilated by another agent, as another animal is devoured by a tiger, this is not proper understanding. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself creates and devours the living beings through other living beings. If you read the translation once, we will not understand anything at all. It's confusing for us. Yeah? What is this? What are they talking? And therefore, you need a guru or acharya to explain what we mean by this. So let us see the purport of Srila Prabhupada. All of you, please listen attentively. As usual, a short purport, but very sweet. According to the conclusion of the philosophy known as Karma Mimamsa, one's karma or fruitive or previous fruitive activity is the cause of everything, and therefore there is no need to work. Those who arrive at this conclusion are foolish. When a father creates a child, he does not do so independently. He is induced to do so by the Supreme Lord. As the Lord Himself says in Bhagavad-Gita 15.15. What is that? Sarvasya saham riti sannivishvo matah smitir jnanam apohanam cha. I am in everyone's heart. From me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Unless one receives dictation from the personality of Godhead, who sits within everyone's heart, one cannot be induced to create anything. Therefore, the father and the mother are not the creators of the living entity. According to the living entity's karma, fruitive activities is put into the semen of the father, who injects the living entity into the womb of the mother. Then, according to the body of the mother and father, yata yoni yata bijam, the living entity accepts a body and takes birth to suffer or enjoy. Therefore, the Supreme Lord is the original cause of one's birth. So this is a point which Srila Prabhupada is proving. What is that? Therefore, the Supreme Lord is the original cause of one's birth. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is the original cause of one's birth. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is the cause of one's being killed. Not only birth, death also. No one is independent. Srila Prabhupada is deriving the conclusion. Yeah? Everyone is dependent. The true conclusion is that only independent person is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes? We think we are independent. Because the mind thinks, it's not we, the mind thinks, yes, you are independent. So therefore, we should really understand what again Srila Prabhupada talks in the purport. Again, it's confusing for us, isn't it? Because we would never have thought about karma mimamsa philosophy, but Srila Prabhupada introducing. So let us talk further in a minute. Om Ajnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Guruvenam Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahim Tadatisva Padantikam Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama. So, before we move further, we have to see the context. What's happening here? What's happening so far in this chapter? So we will have a quick recap, a review, and then we will move further. In the previous chapter, Vitrasura has offered prayers to the Lord. Yeah? His heartfelt prayers to the Lord. Because he knows that he is going to die soon. Unlike us, yeah? We think we are not going to die. Correct? Yes. Vitrasura knew that he is going to die shortly. And therefore, he was offering heartfelt prayers, very good prayers, in the previous chapter. Now, this chapter, after he prayed, yes, he said, come on, I have to do my job. I have to do my prescribed duties. And therefore, he is going to fight. Now, before we go, Vitrasura, as the name indicates, one may think he is a demon, right? Because you see in the Krishna's pastimes, Agasura, Bakasura, and then what about other suras? All are asuras. So naturally, being a devotee of Krishna, we will think when the name Vitrasura comes, oh, he is also one more demon which Krishna is going to kill. Yes? But on the contrary, he looks like a demon, but inside he is a devotee. But again, Indra, he looks like a devotee, but inside he doesn't act like a devotee. So this is what the conflict we are going to see today between Vitrasura and Indra, the king of heavens, king of demigod Indra. Indra is not an ordinary person. His spiritual master is Brihaspati. Very powerful. He knows all the Vedas thoroughly. Very, very elevated person, okay? Let us not misunderstand Indra as a very ordinary person. Very, very powerful person. So we are dealing with two powerful personalities. So what's happening is, are you ready for a quick rewind, recap? So what's happening is, now in this chapter, Vitrasura, he took a trident, and then, because a fight is going to happen again, so he took the trident, and then with great force, he struck on Indra. But Indra has already got a very powerful weapon, more powerful than trident of Vitrasura. What weapon did he have, Indra? Thunderbolt. Very powerful. It was designed based on the instructions of Lord Vishnu. Yeah, very powerful weapon. Now what Indra did was, he smashed the trident with his thunderbolt, and the trident smashed into pieces. And not only that, with the weapon of Indra, which is thunderbolt, he chopped off one of the arms of Vitrasura. So right now, Vitrasura has got only one hand. But Vitrasura did not care. Anyway, I'm going to die. Yeah, this is a very strong, powerful devotee. So he's not on the bodily consciousness. We have to understand that. Very powerful. He doesn't care. Okay, something goes off. Fine, I'm going to die anyway. So what he did was, he did not keep quiet. He did not become morose. Whereas Indra has got both the hands. Previously, Indra became morose. But after losing his hand also, he did not become morose. What did he do? He picked up one more mace, with this another hand. And then again, with great force, it's a very powerful person, Vitrasura. Yeah? He almost looks like a mountain. Yeah, he took it, and again, he threw at Indra. Then this time what happened? The force was a little bit stronger. So, the thunderbolt which Indra was carrying, it fell down to the ground. Indra was looking everywhere and felt ashamed. Because so far, he was carrying a thunderbolt given by Lord Vishnu. But Vitrasura is able to make the thunderbolt fall on from his hand to the ground. So again, he was feeling morose and he felt ashamed. One may think, why should we feel ashamed, or why should we feel bad about it? It's very common, because I tell you, this has happened to me. Probably after, around whatever, maybe around 24 or something, I had a small moped in India. Moped, It's not a scooter, because my father said, this is what I can get you. I said, I want a vehicle. He said, a vehicle, but it's not a cycle. So take that moped, Moped is like a cycle, but it's not a scooter. I used to drive and all that, in my street and all that. Then, my brother-in-law had a scooter. Okay, Vespa scooter. Then, what I thought, once I thought, I'll go for a round, something I want to buy, Then I want to take it. So I took it in the corner, because I was not used to the scooter. I fell down. I skipped and fall down, Then, how in India, anything happens, all will come. What happened? A simple thing only. Nothing happened to I just skidded and the scooter fell down. The scooter, not the moped. And then I was feeling so embarrassed. What happened? Because what I was thinking is, listen, I am able to drive a nice scooter. And now they know that in my street that I cannot drive a scooter. My false ego was smashed. A simple thing, I'm just saying. So in the same way, when he was holding, he cut off one of the arm. The next moment, this is what the material energy is. 1 minute it will be good. The next minute it will be completely against you. The demons and the Devatas, right? They compromised, they came to a truce. What did they do? They want to churn the milk ocean. Yes? They want to churn the milk ocean. The goal is to get Amrita. But what did they get initially? Poison. Exactly opposite. This is how the material world works. Yeah? If you want a result, you get exactly the opposite results. And then later on, you may get. So in the same way, 1 minute, he was able to cut off Vitrasura's hand. The next minute, Vitrasura, with his effort, he threw the Indra's Thunderbolt onto the ground. So he was ashamed to pick up. What will people think? Now will I really be victory? Should I pick it up? Or, all this dilemma is going on. So, at this stage, Vitrasura is continuing this passage or these verses from verse number 7 to 17. In this verse, especially, 11 and 12 has to be read in conjunction. In the verse 11 and 12, Vitrasura is establishing a fact that Krishna's control is total and complete. What is he establishing? In the 11 and 12 verse, Krishna's control is total control and complete control of everything and everyone. How do you know? Because in the verse number 11, he says, for creation of the material elements to form this universe, one has to depend on the Lord. Yesterday, Gopavrindash Prabhu was talking about Pradhan, Mahatattva, how the Lord creates by his glance, time factor. Lord creates, and that is needed. Matter cannot work on its own. The matter, it cannot move on its own. It needs a soul, an external force to move. So in one way, Newton is also correct. What did he say? Newton's first law? That is third law. Every body continues to be in the same state of rest unless compelled by the external force to change that state of rest. So every is a state of rest unless compelled by an external force to move that state of rest. Yeah, that is later. But he was talking about the first law of Newton. So there is a spirit soul behind that. So for creating the material universe, for matter as we think, for that also you need the Lord's presence and the Lord's dependency. Whereas we, the living entities and demigods up to Brahma, Indra, everyone is dependent on Krishna. So Vitrasura is establishing a point that Krishna is a controller of matter and spirit. Both are coming from him. So that is establishing. And then in this verse, verse number 12, he emphasizes the point. What does he say? He says, if one do not accept the supremacy of Krishna, we are considered as fools only. There's no there is no other statement, no other remark. That's it. Right? One who does not accept the supremacy of Krishna is a fool, because we're going to see gradually, as the lecture unfolds, we're going to see. So, why we are considered as fools? If you do not surrender to Krishna, many people are not surrendering to Krishna, right? They're not surrendering. Why someone is considered as a fool if they don't surrender to Krishna? Why? What's the reason? No reason, huh? So therefore we should surrender. If you do not surrender to Krishna, we do not know that we are a spirit soul. Then we do not know reality. And therefore, we will mix or we will attach more and more towards matter. And therefore, what does matter do? It will put you in the deep ignorance. See? That's what it happens. If you associate with matter, it will keep on pulling you from goodness to passion to ignorance, and you become a matter. Like this. That's what it is. And therefore, for us it's very important to know that, or we should be spiritually aware. We should know that we are a spirit soul. This is very, very important for our progress. If you do not know that we are a spirit soul, that we are beyond matter, then we will think, what's wrong? Body. So one should be spiritually aware. That's a point, okay? And then one will definitely go towards Krishna, because a tiny soul has to listen to the Supreme Soul. How can the tiny soul be independent? It must listen to the Supreme Authority. Yeah? So therefore the tiny soul has to progress by moving towards Krishna. Otherwise, how do we know what is the reality? If you think the body is a reality, then it's going to give only births and more into ignorance. Animal body, ignorance, 8.4 million species of life a soul takes based on its desire. And Krishna very nicely explains that in 2nd chapter, that like a beautiful example, Krishna is saying how the soul is changing. He gives an example of changing dress. As we are changing dress, the soul is also changing bodies. Yeah? So, the scenario. So what is the scenario now? What we have heard so far? What are we up to? The scenario? Thunderbolt, very good. So he is attentive. Very good. So this scenario. Now, we are going to run a parallel between Vitrasura in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Arjuna in Bhagavad-Gita. Yeah? What did Arjuna do? Not true. Yeah. So what happened? In the 1st chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, Arjuna was the one who said, Krishna, take my armies, go between the armies and let me have a look so that, I'll equip myself. Then, on seeing his family members, his friends, relatives, and his spiritual master, what he thought, I'm going to kill them, all of them. So he became compassionate. And Srila Prabhupada mentions that in the purport that this compassionate nature is due to bodily attachment. See, my family, my relatives, my friends, and therefore he was feeling weakness. He was put into that situation by Krishna. So he went to the bodily platform and thinking, I cannot kill them. So based on compassionate grounds, what did he do? He, in front of Krishna, he said, Krishna, I am putting the bow, Gandiva bow down. I don't want to fight. Okay, so this is similar. And who is Indra? Arjuna's father. Yes? So like father, like son. So father as through the, he doesn't want to pick up the thunderbolt. The son, what did he do? He kept the Gandiva and he said, I don't want to fight. So, Krishna has to speak Bhagavad-Gita. What did he say in the 2nd chapter? We are going to very quickly see. Krishna was saying, asking Arjuna to fight, or inducing Arjuna to fight. Every time he's saying, fight, fight. In the same way, you can see from verse number 7 to 17, Vitrasura is telling Indra, fight. Don't be attached to the results. The Supreme Lord is the cause of everything. Yeah? The results, your success and failure is given by the Lord, not you. You are not the cause of your work. You don't be attached to the fruits. And therefore you should fight. So you can say that Vitrasura's advice to Indra is like a mini Bhagavad-Gita. What is going to say? So therefore, we should know what do you mean by mini Bhagavad-Gita. Okay? So we'll just take some time just to understand. So, in other words, Vitrasura is saying, this is exactly saying, do your duty of fighting, depending on Krishna, as victory and defeat both are awarded by Krishna. So that is the bottom line. Okay. Now, quickly we are going to see this chapter 2 of Bhagavad-Gita. What is the chapter 2? Name of the... Yeah, the contents of the Gita summarized. So Bhagavad-Gita chapter 2 is as good as reading Bhagavad-Gita. Content of the Gita summarized. Okay? So there, what's happened is, very quickly, Arjuna, he left the bow, okay, Gandiva bow, and he's saying, Krishna, I'm not going to fight. Now Krishna wants Arjuna to fight. So what's happened, this Bhagavad-Gita second chapter, the first 10 verses, okay, Arjuna is having again more doubts, and then finally he says, yes, I will surrender to Krishna. In what way? He doesn't know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. What he knows? He is accepting Krishna as a guru, and therefore Arjuna becomes a disciple. So he's saying, Lord, you tell me whatever you want me to do, I will listen to you. This was what Arjuna was requesting Krishna. And therefore Krishna, with a smiling face, he was going to open chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, which is very, very important. Okay? Now, in the verse number, so it's basically a recap of chapter 2. 2.11 to 2.30, Krishna is presenting. What is he presenting? Atma Gyan, the knowledge of the soul. Why is he presenting? Because he's saying, you are the spirit soul. Yeah? Don't be attached to the body, because it is ignorant and it's useless. So he wants to establish a point, because Arjuna was attached to his friends, families, relatives, etc. Okay? So in the 11 to 30, which is Krishna is talking about the soul only, various aspects. Yeah? How the soul is eternal and the body is temporary. There, what is Krishna saying? Arjuna, you must fight, because the soul is eternal and compassion for the body is ignorant. Why is Krishna talking like this? Because earlier, in the first chapter, Arjuna says, I cannot fight because they are my relatives, out of compassion. So Krishna counters Arjuna's argument for compassion for his friends and relatives. And therefore, he wants Arjuna to... What does he want to do, Arjuna? He wants to raise the consciousness. So therefore, all of us have got two identities. What are the two identities? We have got, have you heard of that? Two IDs we have got. At work you have got only one ID. But I am talking about Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna is saying. Two IDs. What is that? We have got functional ID, fundamental ID. What is functional ID? Based on the body. Everyone has a different function, okay? You are an engineer, you are a carpenter, you are a handsmith, whatever may be, goldsmith, kitchen hand. Everyone has got different functional ID. But the fundamental ID is the same. We are all souls, spirit souls. That you cannot change it. Yeah? The fundamental idea. So, what Krishna is trying to do is, Krishna is raising the knowledge or the consciousness of Arjuna from ID in terms of ID. From functional to fundamental. That you are all spirit soul. When you come on the same platform, then there is no differentiation. See? This is what Krishna wants to do. And therefore, he is talking about Atma Gyan, that you are not the body, you are the soul. Because Arjuna thinks that, I cannot fight because of compassionate reasons. My friends, relatives, how can I kill the body? So, Krishna says, fight. Soul is eternal. You are the soul. Don't be attached to the body. Okay. Then, what did he do? Because Krishna is continuously speaking chapter 2. Then, in the verse 31 to 38, Krishna is talking about Karma Kanda. What is Karma Kanda? Fruitive activities. What do you mean by fruitive activities? Fruitive activities means you have to do everything based on an authority, Vedas. And then, if you do everything based on authorities, Veda, then it becomes Sukarma and you get pious credits. If you do against the Vedas, which is Vikarma, you get impious credits, negative points. Yeah? There is something known as Akarma, which is devotional service to Krishna, that does not have negative and positive. Okay? But Karma Kanda, they don't know about Akarma. Therefore, they know only Vikarma and Sukarma. So, Vedas says this not to do, so I'll do this so that I can go and enjoy or get my next birth, better next birth. So, this is about Karma Kanda. Why is Krishna going to talk about Karma Kanda? Because earlier in the chapter 1, Arjuna is saying, oh Krishna, even if I fight and kill my friends and relatives, I will not get the enjoyment because I'm going to kill them. How can I get enjoyment? For that, what is Krishna saying? This is the first application of Atmagan, anyway, okay? So the first application of, Krishna has told Arjuna that he is a soul. So the first application is Karma Kanda. So what Krishna is saying is, fight. If you do your prescribed duties, then you will enjoy. So what is he telling Arjuna? If you fight, yeah, and if you win the battle, you will get a earthly kingdom. But if you fight and if you lose, what will happen? He will still go to heaven and enjoy. So it's a win-win situation for Arjuna. Win-win situation, right? Either he fights and wins the battle, he will get an earthly kingdom. If he fights and he loses the battle, still he is going to heavenly and kingdom and enjoying. So it's a win-win situation. And therefore Krishna said, fight. Again you must fight. Because even if you fight, either you win or you lose, still there is enjoyment. You either get heavenly planet or earthly planet. And then, the third is very, very important. In the third section, 39 to 53, Krishna is talking about Karma Yoga, Buddhi Yoga, very, very important to us. So what is Krishna saying in that? Earlier, Arjuna said, okay, first, if I kill my relatives, I don't want to kill. Even if I kill, I will not enjoy. Then even if I kill, I will get sinful reactions. Sin. Because killing is sinful. Therefore, I don't want to do that. For that, what Krishna is saying, do your duty with detachment. This is what is important for us. If you do your duty with detachment, then what happens? There is no sinful reaction. So this is the essence we have to learn. All of us have got some duty, right? So we must do the duty without attachment. Then there is no sinful reactions. Yeah? Now, in this verse number 50, the 2.50 is very, very important. For all of us, it's very applicable to all of us. because all are working. Yeah, we are doing our prescribed duties. So what Krishna is saying is, karmasya kaushalam. What is karmasu kaushalam? Karma means work. Kaushalam means expertise. Krishna is talking about expertise in work. So why it is applicable to us? See, in the chapter 2 of Bhagavad-Gita, please understand, Arjuna does not know that Krishna is a Supreme Lord. He is thinking Krishna is a teacher, very knowledgeable. Okay? Gradually Krishna is going to unfold. And as we move on to the different chapters, then Arjuna knows that Krishna is a Supreme Lord, and finally he says, yes, you are the Supreme Lord. But at this stage, in chapter 2, it's only about karma, knowledge and all that going on. Okay? No. So Krishna is saying, karmasu kaushalam. So, why it is applicable to us? This particular sentence or this particular word indicating karma yoga is, all of us, after Krishna giving the Atma Gyan, soul, Krishna is explaining this, which means all of us have to do our duty, understanding that we are not this body. And then if all of us do the duty expertly, that is Krishna consciousness. See? You understand the point? Krishna is not talking about devotion service at this stage. Okay? Devotion service comes later. But this is talking about karma yoga. How you connect yoga. How you endeavor to connect yourself to Krishna. How you connect it? All of us have to do our job very expertly. Doesn't matter. Whatever work. Expertly if you do, then that work becomes Krishna consciousness. How? Krishna reconfirms that in the 10th chapter. What does he say? He says that he represents the best of all. What are some of the examples he gives? He gives many, He says, out of the star is moon. Out of the sacrifices is japa. And then out of the birds is Garuda. He's the best. And then out of the seasons is spring. So anything which is best is Krishna. So if you do your job best, then Krishna will be represented there. And therefore, that is a sign of Krishna consciousness. Yeah? It's not that, and then later on what happens, your workspace and the temple both becomes identical. See, some of us are thinking, no, work is different. Okay? Oh, work is material energy. I have to go and suffer. If I come to the temple, I'm happy. No. This is not the point. You have to do your work expertly without attachment. Thinking that you are not this body. Then what happens? That work is that becomes Krishna consciousness. And then you are able to see the Lord in your work. It's not that Krishna is only here as Radha Vallabha. No, it's everywhere, even in your work. Because Krishna, as we discussed earlier, is a controller of matter and spirit. So therefore, he's everywhere. Our temple, what time does it close? Tonight. 9 p.m. is Arati, right? How does it close at 9? 9:20 or 9:30, correct? We close a temple. After temple closes at 9:30, can you see Radha Vallabha? But Premanjana Churita, those who have got the eyes tainted with love for Radha Vallabha can see. But the point I'm trying to say is, but you can connect to Krishna after 9:30. How? Chanting is available 24 hours. Krishna and Krishna's name is non-different. No difference. And therefore, you can approach Radha Vallabha after 9:30 also. So this is a consciousness. Yeah? So Krishna is not only that, he is also in the temple, that is his house. Yeah? But is available everywhere. So all of you got the point? This is a point which Vitrasura is saying, come on, Lord has given you a job. Take the thunderbolt and kill me. You become Krishna consciousness. See, will anyone believe that? Vitrasura is saying that. That's what Krishna is trying to imply also. Do the work for Krishna. It's ordained, that is a wish of the Lord, instruction of the Lord. Do that. Lord will not come and tell you, come on, come to me like Madhavendra Puri. I am feeling very hot. Madhavendra, can you go and get the Malabar Chandan and put it on my body? The Lord will not tell us. Radha Ballabha does not come and tell us, that today I want pizza, I don't want lasagna. Can you tell the cook? He will inspire the cook himself. But this is our job. We have to do our job properly, expertly. Doesn't matter. Material job, spiritual job. When you come here, do your job expertly. When you go to your work, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, do that job expertly. Yes? And that is Krishna consciousness. Don't differentiate. Okay. Now, and then Krishna moves on, which is not, we are not going to discuss that. From the same chapter, 54 to 72, Krishna is talking about characteristics of a Sita Prajna. Because Krishna so far has been explaining, you should be fixed in knowledge, Arjuna. You should do like that. Don't be attached to the results and all that. Then Arjuna is saying, Krishna, is that a person? Such person who is not attached to the results and who is always elevated, his consciousness is fixed. Krishna says, yes, that is Sita Prajna. He will be like this. Then Arjuna asks, how does he walk? How does he talk? How does he sit? And all that, okay? So that goes on. So it's very interesting. You can continue that chapter 2 of Bhagavad-Gita. So here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about Karma Mimamsa. So let us talk. What is Karma Mimamsa philosophy again? Now, Karma Mimamsa, okay? It's very interesting. See, Srila Prabhupada in this purport, he says, according to the conclusion philosophy known as karma, one's karma activity is a cause of everything, and therefore there's no way. People who arrive at this conclusion are foolish. See one contradictory statement, okay? Srila Prabhupada says, people who talk about karma yoga are people who induce, my apologies, Karma Mimamsa are people who talk about it, are people who are philosophers of the Karma Mimamsa are foolish. But do you know that Krishna spoke Karma Mimamsa to his parents? That's what we're going to say. We're going to see. In the past times, Govardhan, very interesting. Okay? In the Govardhan pastimes, what is happening is Krishna has to speak this atheistic karma mimamsa philosophy to his own parents. You know the reason why? The people, residents of Vrindavan, they want rain. Why? Because they are Vaishyas. For their occupation, they need rain. And for rain, they have to worship Indra, the same Indra. Thunderbolt Indra. Because Indra is in charge of rain. Yes? If you worship Indra, you get rain, and therefore all the residents of Vrindavan, where Krishna is there, his own land, they went, his father prepared a great festival, Govardhan festival, actually before that, a big festival to celebrate or to worship Indra, so that if you worship Indra, Indra is pleased. If Indra is pleased, you'll get rain. If you get rain, then it's good for our occupation. Vaishyas, we can grow because we have got a lot of cows and we need grasses. Correct, Krishna? So Krishna has to speak this karma mimamsa to stop in such a way that he wants his parents to stop the worship of Indra and to take up the worship of Govardhan and cows. So what will the Lord do? The Lord has to speak philosophy. So he was speaking this philosophy. He said, Daddy, Appa, or Appa, whatever may be. He said, why? Why do you want to worship Indra? Okay? We all know that we have got previous karmas. Okay? Now, based on the previous karma, Indra has to do his job and he has to give the rain. Because we are pious, okay? We are pious people. So, Indra has to give rain based on his duty. His duty is to give rain. Because karma mimamsa states that according to one's previous karma or duties, one will be rewarded accordingly. There is no need to work, put in extra effort. Yeah? And so therefore Krishna said, Indra's duty, right? He has to do that. He cannot say no. So, please do not worship Indra. He will do his job, don't you worry. Let us all worship Govardhan and cows. That was a point, karma mimamsa. Now, this karma mimamsa philosophy is a non-atheistic philosophy. Why? Because they assume or they consider that all the activities are caused by the material law of nature. There is no one in control. The Lord is not the cause. Whereas, what did Srila Prabhupada establish here? In the purport, a father and the mother can get a child. But whose ultimate cause? Lord. Because many people want children. They are not getting it. So if they are the cause, they should get children. So the ultimate cause is Krishna. Who gets, But it may be an immediate cause or someone with superficial cause, maybe father and mother. But the ultimate cause is Krishna. So here, the karma method. If the Lord is there, He has to give results based on our action. Yeah? And the law of material nature, law, everything, you work, you produce good results, you get good actions, good results. Bad action, bad results. Law of nature. That's what they follow. That is a karma mimamsa philosophers who are atheistic. But this modern philosophers are hopeless. They are not only atheists, they cannot be compared to even karma mimamsa. Why? Because the modern atheistic philosophers, they do not agree in reincarnation and do not accept any moral laws. For them, there is no moral law. You can do whatever you want. Eat, drink, gamble, everything. There is no rule. You can kill anyone. Non-violence is not there. Yeah? So this is a problem with the modern philosophers, okay? No reincarnation. See, the karma mimamsa, they know reincarnation. Why? Because they think, this birth, if I do my job nicely, next birth I'll be rewarded. So there's a concept of rebirth. But here, there's no concept of rebirth. And therefore, see, how do the concept of rebirth comes in? Because you know that we are the soul, we are changing bodies. And therefore, to some degree, in one sense, it's better. But these modern atheists are horrible, hopeless. Okay. Now, because Krishna spoke little bit, to convince his father, karma mimamsa, Haribol, all of you listen here. Krishna convinced his father, okay? Karma mimamsa, he convinced his father, Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada is saying in the purport that those who follow karma mimamsa are foolish. Now, but Krishna is talking about karma mimamsa. Does it mean that we have to follow karma mimamsa philosophy? No. Why? Why not? Krishna, your level is so high. You have read all this. This is only second chapter we are coming. Karma yoga and all this aspect. Buddhi yoga. No. In the same chapter, very interesting, Krishna refutes that. Karma yoga. Karma mimamsa. Sorry, why am I saying karma? Karma mimamsa, Krishna refutes. In which verse is that? Any guess? Seven. You're 1 over, Mataji. 2.47. So Lord says, Karmanyavadi karaste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur ma te sango swa karmani. What does it mean is, it has got 4 parts to that. Many people in India, Karmanyavadi karaste. That's it they know. They don't know the other 3. They say work is worship. No, you have to take the totality. So what are the 4 things? Krishna is saying, one must perform one's prescribed duties. This is again karma yoga level, okay? I'm not talking about devotion service. One must perform one's prescribed duties. Important. And in India, they stop with that. They don't take the other 3 points. The other 3 points, the second point is, you are not attached to the fruits or the results. That is, whether you get happiness or distress, you should follow. For example, you know, I'm going to apply for the job. I don't know if I get or not. But still you must apply. Doesn't matter. Yeah? You have to do your job. The results are not up to you. You may get, you may not get. Yeah? I'm just giving a very practical, mundane example. And then, you are never the cause of the results. You are not getting the results out of your own. There is some other cause. There is some other authority is going to give you the cause. Okay? You are not the... Because I went for the interview, I got the job. So I got the job. No. There is some other reason for the cause of your activity. Okay? And then, finally, this refutes also karma mimamsa. What is that? Inaction is sinful. The karma mimamsa philosophers, they expect, good karma will come, I will not work now. Some of them, not all of them, some of them do not work. Now Krishna says, inaction is sinful. You have to work. You can never be attached to not working. You cannot say, I'm not working. Whether, it doesn't matter. Whether you're devotee, non-devotee, whether you are in the temple or outside the temple, you must work. You can't be inactive. So this is a point which Krishna is saying. And also, Srila Prabhupada brings heavily in the purport. What does he say? Krishna is the ultimate doer in all circumstances. And therefore, we must accept Krishna's plan. Okay? That is what we have to accept. Now, going back to, again, Bhagavad-Gita quickly. Duryodhana. Okay? What did he do? He was thinking that he is going to win the battle because of the good military strength and his body power, right? On his own he was thinking. He was not dependent on Krishna. Yeah? I have got a good military power. All these acharyas are there, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, and Bhishma Dev is there. And then I have got a good body, and therefore I'll win. But did he win? No. On the contrary, Arjuna was not very much equipped, but is backed by Krishna. Therefore, Arjuna won the battle, the team. Pandavas won it. So, finally to conclude, we stop with a story, very meaningful story. Yes? Have you heard this statement by Srila Prabhupada? Rake Krishna Mare Krishna Rake Ke. What does it mean? If Krishna wants to kill you, no one can save you. If Krishna wants to save you, no one can kill you. Okay? So this is the bottom line. So, we are going to take quickly the story of Pradyumna killing the demon Sambarasura. Sambara Sura. Because we thought everything is Vritra Sura, all the Suras, we'll take one more Sura also. Sambara Sura. Now, this demon, Sambara, have you heard of that, Prabhu? See, some of you have not heard. So, good. This Sambara Sura is a very, all these demons are very powerful, very mystic, powerful demon. Okay? And he was a king also, to top of that. Yeah? He was there during the time of Krishna. You know Krishna story? Sambara? He was there during the time of Krishna as well. Now, he was fated. Yeah? He was destined to be killed by Pradyumna. He was destined to be killed by Pradyumna. So, what happened? In the previous birth, Pradyumna was Kamadeva. By the glance, Lord Shiva got angry for some instance. He burned Kamadeva to ashes. And then the next birth, he was born as Pradyumna to Krishna and Rukmini. Correct. Pradyumna was only 6 days old. Can you imagine? This demon knew, this baby is going to kill me. I'll do something and protect myself. So what did he do? He sent a few of his assistants. They all came back. Sambara, we can't do anything. He's very powerful. So the Sambara decided, okay, I will go myself. How will I go? How will I go? I will go as a nice young lady. Okay? And go to the palace and kidnap the 6-day-old, not 6 year, 6-day-year-old, 6-day-old only. He was just born. So I'll go in the form of a lady and mingle with them, just like Bhutana, similar, and take the baby. He did that. With the mystic power event, he took Pradyumna, and what did he do? Okay, as long as you're alive, it's a danger for me. So I'm going to finish off. What did he do? He dropped in the ocean. Six-day-old baby dropped in the ocean. Can you imagine? What happened? By the arrangement of Krishna, a big fish came and swallowed Pradyumna. But Pradyumna is very safe because of the arrangement of Krishna, right? If Krishna wants to save you, no one can kill you. So Pradyumna was very safe. Then very interesting, see how it works. The Pradyumna as a small child is inside the body of a big fish. Now one of the fishermen, he went for fishing. He took that big fish and thought, oh, this is very big fish. Let me give to my king Sambara and get some gift. Because Sambara is a demon. He likes fish preparation. He loves it. See? That's why Krishna is saying, no, become my devotee. Don't do all this. Just offer everything. Patram, pushpam, palam. Then once you eat Krishna Prashadam, you are not attracted to all this nonsense. He's a demon. He doesn't know. He doesn't want to worship Krishna. So he's attracted to all this rubbish. So he likes. So what did he do? He thought, oh, very good. He gave some gift to the fisherman. And he said, today, make a nice fish preparation for me. And so he gave it to his cooks. The cook has got an assistant. Her name is Mayavati. She's also very powerful. Okay? Then what they did was, as you know, they were cutting the fish, and inside the fish they saw a beautiful boy. Pradyumna was there. And so they thought, fine, let me take care of this child and let us we'll make the child grow under our care. So Pradyumna was growing. Now what happened incidentally, by mystic power, Pradyumna very quickly became a youth. It is said that, this is all, they can do anything, they're all spiritual personality. So very quickly he grew and he became a youth. But this Mayavati was already Rati in the previous birth. Kamadeva's wife, Rati. And so Narada Muni came and told all the stories. See, Pradyumna is like this, Kamadeva's birth. You are old previous birth wife. So both of you, you can get married and all that. And therefore, they got married and all that. Now, during that time, Mayavati told Pradyumna that, do you know that, this is what happened, that there is a demon like Sambara who wanted to kill you, and this is what he did. Then Pradyumna thought, oh, I didn't know about it. Of course, he knows, but because of the past time. So he said, come on, let me go. And they had a very serious fight. And finally, who won? Pradyumna. Why? Because that's a statement, it's a Bengali statement. Srila Prabhupada often used to do. Yeah? Often used to say this. Rake Krishna, Mare Krishna, Rake ke. Yeah? So, Krishna wants Pradyumna. He wants, at the same time, he wants Sambara to die. And therefore, with the fight, the Sambara died and Pradyumna won. And all of them came to the palace of Krishna in Dwaraka. And Krishna and Rukmini was very happy. Okay? So that is how the story ends. So, now we will stop here. And it's already 9:05. Okay? So, if there is any quick questions or comments, we'll take it. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, do you have one more mic, Prabhu? Rajaraj Prabhu, one mic.
Krishna has given us free will, but at the same time we are saying that he is the complete controller. So how we can understand both these statements?
Prabhu, when you say ultimate controller, is in ultimate sense, but you are always given free will every moment. Okay? He's given the free will, okay? Every minute you can use your free will. He's not going to come and check. So in that sense, see, someone has, for example, you give, have you got a children? Yeah? You give a toy to your son. How old is a son or a daughter? How old is he? 7 years. So you buy a toy and give it to your son, right? But the toy, can your son is capable of buying a toy? No. Who the toy belongs to technically? In reality, it belongs to you. So what you do, you buy a toy and give it to your son. Once you give it to your son, that toy belongs to your son. So he has got a free will to play, isn't it? Is he going to every minute coming and checking up with you? Daddy, can I play with it? Daddy, can I play with it? So the same way, you're given free will, you're given it to him. It's up to him whether he breaks it or he keeps it. So in the same way, he has given us this body under the maintenance of the demigods. All the demigods are in charge of our senses, whole body. And then Krishna is not asking you anything. He has just given it based on your karma. And then free will is given to you. How you act based on your free will every moment is going to decide your next body. Not Krishna. We are deciding our own bodies. Is that okay, Prabhu? Or? Yeah. So we have to use, the freedom is given. How we use it? Like for example, a knife, okay? You can use a knife to cut and take a truma, or you can kill someone else, like that. So it's up to the individual to use his intelligence. And that intelligence should be fixed. Sthira buddhi, very important. And that sthira buddhi will come only by becoming a devotee. You will not get sthira buddhi in the material energy. But in the material energy, the buddhi is always going left and right, everywhere. Today I'll buy this, tomorrow I do this. There is no sthira buddhi. Sthira buddhi means Krishna fixed. Devotee. Yes, I'm not going to move away from Krishna. And then once you have fixed nature, because Krishna again explains, interesting, in the chapter 2, Krishna explains about vivasayatmika buddhi, correct? One-pointed intelligence. He says, my devotee, people who want to practice, spiritual life, you should have one-pointed intelligence. If your intelligence is multi-focused, many branched, you cannot come up like that. Yes, Prabhu. Okay, so Okay, so we will stop. Anything is there? Okay, so we'll stop here. Gantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nithai Gaura Premanandi. Hare Hare Hare.